Hey, my name is Jason Nicholson and welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, I want to talk about a tax specialist company that has surveyed thousands of landlords and looked into how many are possibly looking at exiting the market. Now, this is off the back of a similar survey from HMRC, and it isn't looking great. Now, the reason I think this is important to understand is that potentially, if you are an existing landlord, it means you could lose lots of competition quite soon. And also, it's a major problem for the private rental sector because that hasn't grown. In fact, it's shrunk since 2016. But not only has it shrunk, the population has grown by some huge amount. Millions of extra people live in the UK since 2016. And also, I was on Talk TV the other day on the news, and we talked about on that the fact that a lot of the government schemes are trying to take landlords away from the private rental sector and get them to house the immigrants that they've got, to get them out of hotels. So this is really something that people should be ringing alarm bells about. If you're a tenant, I mean, it's important to understand what is happening in the market. It's not great news if all the landlords leave, trust me, because those properties will be sold and they will be moved into people by people that want to live in them as residential properties. But if you shrink the rental market even more, you could have 50 or 100 people trying to apply for one property. So in this video, I'm going to talk about all this stuff that's going on and more. If you're new around here and you haven't done, do make sure you subscribe and hit that bell notification. I'll give you all the latest property news, interest rate news, house price news, and all the details on investing in property as well. And make sure you like the video, smash the video, do something to that like button, whatever it is that you're going to do. That helps with the YouTube algorithm and that really helps the channel grow. So thank you to everyone that does that. So what's going on? Well, in this survey, a huge amount of landlords are looking at leaving. In fact, 70% of landlords are considering leaving. Now, I've heard lots of surveys where I've heard it at 50%, and it could be getting worse. This is a newer data because you've got that renters' rights bill going through at the moment, and that's going to get more awareness between the landlord community, and that might be making more landlords consider leaving. Now, this is bad news if you're a tenant, and it isn't really great for local communities because there are always a certain amount of people that need to rent. Maybe they've got divorced, maybe they've moved to the area for work, maybe they've got a bad credit rating and they can't afford to buy a property. Now, the problem is that eventually the market shrinks, but more people need to rent properties. Our population is growing. We're living longer. We've got more immigration into the country and various other reasons. And that is a real problem. And the rental market is massively strained at the moment. A good place to look at this kind of stuff is in Scotland. In Scotland, they put extra strict landlord rules in there. Loads of landlords quit the market. And because they quit the market, then you had people, as many as 200 applicants for one property. That's mental. Imagine 200 people. You see a lovely flat that you want to get, 200 people applying. They've all got good credit ratings, or 90 of them have got good credit ratings. 110 maybe not so good. You're still going against 90 people. That pushes up rents massively because people will just say, look, I need that property. I'll pay more to get it. And that's what happens. And it's not great for people when this happens. Now, how many landlords are considering buying more property? 7% roughly at the moment want more. And that's a small amount of landlords that are looking to expand their portfolio. Now, in my opinion, now is a good time to buy. And Warren Buffett says, when others are fearful, be greedy. I think it is a good time to buy because you can get some good discounts on properties at the moment. Landlords watch this channel all the time. There are lots of saying that they just want to get out of the market and maybe they just want a quick sale. That is an opportunity for people. And as the rental market shrinks, the rents are going up. You've also got the opportunity that the interest rates are going to drop over time. But you've got to take into consideration what's making these landlord leaves so you understand. Firstly, it's Section 24. A lot of landlords are not happy about the tax situation when you own a property in your own name. Now, if you buy a new property or you're new to investing, you don't necessarily have that problem because you can buy in a limited company. That will really help you to get around that. So that's a problem for existing landlords because their property's stuck in their own name and it's very difficult to move it into a limited company without paying corporate, all the stamp duty and everything all over again. That makes it hard. The other stuff is the EPC stuff. This is hanging over us at the moment that you could have to spend 15 grand per property to get it up to an EPC level C. Now, the Conservatives had this and they backed down at the last minute. Are Labour going to do the same? Well, every day in the news at the moment, they're backing down on something, aren't they? So they could do a U-turn on this because they're losing massive favourability at the moment. That is a concern. Now, in the comments, you're going to see lots of people saying, well, Reform Party will win, and that will mean that this will get cancelled just before it needs to happen. The problem is there are new parties starting up at the moment, which are being considered, and those parties will split the vote. And that could mean that you will get some people leave Reform and go to one of these new parties, making it hard for them. That's not great. What else have you got? The Renters' Rights Bill. I mean, that's going through at the moment. We need a new pen already. This is because of the heat. I've got to use another one for tomorrow, so I'll make sure I do that. This pen has dried up very quickly because of the hot weather. But look, the Renters' Rights Bill is going through at the moment. A lot of landlords are worried about the Section 21, getting rid of people on the no-fault eviction. That gives landlords some comfort if people don't pay the rent, smash the property up, and all of this stuff. So that is being considered by landlords as well. But in a nutshell, it's not something that lots of landlords are happy with. And lots of these landlords, the average age of a landlord at the moment is 59. So some of these people are getting close to retirement age and they're thinking, you know what, stuff it. This isn't what I want to do. But if you come into this market as a new landlord and you're keeping up on your knowledge and you really understand what's going on, you understand the tax, you can avoid the Section 24 tax by buying in a company, for example. The EPC stuff, I personally, now I can't guarantee this and I could be totally wrong, so you've got to assume that it is going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen. Here's two scenarios that I think will happen. One, they'll make it that you've got to get an EPC of D, or two, they'll make it easier to get a level C because they're changing how they grade the properties, meaning you might be on a D now and suddenly you go up to a D. They did similar to that in the commercial world. So don't say that that isn't possible because they did that in the commercial world. The Renters' Rights Bill, I think that will be drawn out. Some of it will be bad, but I think we'll just work around it. And if you run through a letting agency and you keep everything in order, I don't think it's massively a problem. If you're a bad landlord, I think it is. And that's good if you're a good landlord, because then the bad landlords might be in the 70% that are leaving. What do you think about the amount of landlords that are talking about leaving? Do you think it's all talk, or do you think they're actually going to follow through with that? I know some people watching this have sold their portfolios. Let me know in the comments. Let's do our own survey. Are you a landlord that's looking to sell or has already sold, or are you a landlord that's staying? I'm staying in the market, just in case you're unsure. Let me know in the comments. Do smash like and subscribe, and check out all the other content as well on the channel, including this video right here.